Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Sherry. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you're new to my channel, I just talk about life. I just talk about things to empower you, to inspire you, motivate you, and encourage you. And so by using life topics, things that I'm currently doing now in my life that will empower you. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what it was like to spend 2 years in a transitional house. I wanted to share that with someone and hopefully that they can be inspired by it, because I highly recommend going into a transitional housing if you are currently homeless or you're about to be homeless and you're having hard times. You kind of at your bottom right now and you need to start all over again. You need to direction. And so the transitional housing helped me when I was going through it. So I will be doing a live coming up, so make sure you subscribe and like to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when that live comes up, because I'll be answering specific questions for you concerning that topic, or maybe anything else you might want to know. But we're really targeting that topic in that specific live. So just make sure you do all the things you know you're supposed to do for a YouTube channel, and make sure you watch this video through, even if you have to pause it and come back, because it's very, very impactful to those who may need it. I know a lot of people in my own life, my surroundings, my city, that's homeless and is struggling and don't have nowhere to go. And so I imagine there's many hundreds, thousands of people out there everywhere. So before I got to the transitional housing, I was in an abusive marriage. And so I was already trying to leave the marriage, and I was in a domestic violence shelter. Now, the domestic violence shelter applied for housing for me, for the transitional housing. So I really didn't have to do it myself. But if you are currently in a domestic violence shelter, you ask the staff if they can help you apply for transitional housing. My transitional housing was called Mary's House of Humility, and the subtitle of the housing was called the Faith House, and I was stationed in Ohio. Okay, and so as you go on to look for transitional housing across the different cities and states, they may be called something else, but you could start there with Mary's House of Humility. All of the houses are called something else. You might have Rainbow's transitional housing. So that's for you to do the work, but let's get on with the video. It took me like a month to get approved for the place once I was in the domestic violence. So I went in, and what I seen, the house was so beautiful. I'm gonna try to put a picture of the exact house I was in. It was so beautiful. When I walked in, it was a 3-bedroom apartment. I wasn't sharing it with nobody. It was a 3-bedroom apartment. Everything was so clean, fresh, brand new. And let me tell you, I literally cried. It was so nice. You had, the living room was huge. It had all the furniture like brand new. It had the 3 bedrooms was fully furnished. The bathroom was so beautiful. It was just like almost like a condominium or something. It was just really like a small mini condominium. And then the kitchen, it had like this, what do you call it? The island in it. And it also had like bay windows. It was so nice. The dinette set was nice. And I had a balcony. Listen, it was the best thing that had ever happened to me in my life, really, at that point. And I think I was 30 something. I am 50 years old now. And I mean, and listen, I had my children. At the time, I had 4 children with me, okay? And a couple of them were teenagers. And so, and a couple of them were right underneath that. And so it just blessed me. And as far as the rent, I only had to pay $50 a month total for 2 years. So it gave me time to save up for the 2 years. Literally, I didn't have to buy anything. They had me new dishes, new garbage bags, garbage can, toilet tissue, everything, personal items already. So through the years, of course, I like, you shop yourself and buy more stuff, but like uniforms for my kids, school uniforms, they help with that. There was a office on premises, and so each lady had a case manager. And so There was like 4 apartments in my building. Across from me, there was 4 apartments in the other building. And then there was apartments in the back. And so us in the front, we had 2 years. The girls that was stationed in the back, they had their own apartment as well. And was able to stay there until the kids turned 18. So if they had a 1 or 2 year old, they was able to stay there, and they were set like, listen, I'm telling you, if you are in a place right now, this is the best thing, because it gives you 2 years of opportunity to save, to figure out your life. And so we will have a case manager on the set. And let me just explain to you real quick. When I got there, I didn't have a GED. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a degree in college. I was just living with my husband in this abusive relationship, going to church. And it was horrible, okay? But when I got there and I got with the case manager, and it was just like I had to have that time where I was really, really separated for a little bit from him. And then it's like the light. I kept going to church through all this. And the light just started coming on. I ended up going to school. I got my GED. I ended up taking a college course so I could learn computer and, typing and different stuff. And I also had started a business making jewelry. And I had these beads. And so when one of the case managers said, you make this? I say, yeah, I make this jewelry, and I just give it away to my church. I just give it away to people just to make them feel good about themselves. And a light bulb came on in her, and she ended up showing me about business and about, how to do the finances a little bit. And I started to go to college. I started to push that business out. People just started really supporting me. I got people to auction off my jewelry. Like, I made this fancy jewelry piece, a necklace and earrings, and it got auctioned off for $150. Like, listen, my life was, it was good. It was good. When I tell you the things that you can get accomplished going into a transitional housing, it's beyond your belief, really, beyond what we think that is in us, what we're capable of. And they will, like, I took classes, certification classes, and through them, and I learned about, like, you're going to learn about health. You're going to learn about drugs and alcohol. You're going to learn about AIDS. You're going to learn about all this kind of stuff. And which is good for you. You need to be empowered and enlightened any kind of way you can get it, through different subjects, okay, for your life. So when Christmas time came, I spent 2 Christmases in there. And listen, this is something they literally went to each woman in there, and they said, write out a list of everything you and your kids want. I'm going to pause right there. Write out a list. For 2 years they did this. And I wrote out a list. I said, really? Anything I want? Really? I wrote out a list. Literally for Christmas. Came gift wrapped. We got everything we asked for on the list. We didn't want for nothing. I didn't have to spend money. I could just save, and then the church people would come on the premises and have cocoa with us at night, and just, we would have things going on, events. They took us to the ballet, took us out to eat and paid for the girls. It was like I was in a whole new city within my own city, and I got better in my city. Sometimes you do have to move outside your city or your state to get better, but in this case, I didn't. I stayed right there in my city. And I started doing nails. In people's feet. I was really excited about life. And there was a homeless shelter that I was in before, and it was right across the street. I literally was doing pedicures on women just to make them feel better about themselves, and so I I didn't realize that was inside of me, but it was the empowerment, the inspiration, the motivation, the encouragement that I have for people. So you don't never know where God will take you, will lead you, but you got to go through that little piece. And also, I had two kids that was acting up, okay? Um, and so I had to go through the thing where they was in trouble, and I had to go through parenting classes. I was doing all of this in the 2 years. I had to go through a lot of stuff, you guys. And then I got my license while I was there. In that faith house was in 2 years. And I got a truck, okay? And so listen to me. If you are homeless or you're about to be homeless, please seek out transitional housing, because it is to better your life. Don't be ashamed, man. Do it. Sometimes you got to go through that rough spot at first. And sometimes you think it's so rough, but it turns out to be a blossoming flower. It turns out to be something beautiful in your life. And God is in it. He is in it. I'm telling you. So whatever you got to walk away from, come from. So all the girls on the premises, they were either coming from domestic violence. Domestic violence. This is what the transitional housing was really taking girls that was coming from domestic violence, abuse, or the domestic violence shelters. They were taking women that was coming from drug and alcohol. You know, you had a bed in a drug and alcohol place. You was trying to stay clean. You didn't necessarily have to, be in a facility. You just could have a problem, but you're staying clean. They want the women that's coming there that's clean and staying, because they don't want you to infect the other women. And so they want you to be clean on the property. As far as drugs and alcohol, if you're an abused woman, they don't want your abuser back on the property. And so this is about you. And if you're you're consistently homeless, so like a homeless person that just is always homeless, she may get her a place and then she ends up homeless again for whatever. So they're just there to really help you. And let me tell you something. There in the transitional housing, it was the first time that, I had been pushed out, and I don't even know what was happening to my life. I know it was good, but I had became my own lawyer in a child support case, and I didn't know I signed up for that. And so when I went to court, they said, "Okay, are you ready to present your case?" And I said, "Excuse me," and they was like, "Yeah, you signed this waiver." It's so I was literally panicking. And y'all, let me tell you, I didn't have no witnesses. I think I had one, the person that went with me, and she was panicking. And we went to this courtroom, this judge, and I had these prosecuting attorneys. They said, "Do you have an opening statement?" I just got up and said, "Your Honor," I don't know what I said, but anyways, the prosecutors kept objecting my case. Like, I object. And I was rebelling and all this. And do y'all know I got my results 2 weeks in the mail, 2 weeks later, that I had won my case. So let me tell you something. You may not think you have no talent, no skills. God hasn't placed any gift inside of you. Listen, just keep walking out your life. Just keep going, because they're there. They're inside of you. It just takes you probably to get away from what you're around that's keeping you distracted, or just keeping you from getting your life together. So you got to take the initiative and make the calls that you need to make. Man, I'm telling you, whatever city, whatever state you're in. But I would do a live. I would do a live so we can talk about, if you need more specific questions answered. I can answer that for you. I'm all willing to share. But I'm going to leave links in the description box. Hopefully you check them out. I'm just here to help someone else, and that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you really take everything I say into consideration. And let me not forget, yes, you do have rules, and yes, you do have curfew. So my rules was, I think I had to be in no later than 10, maybe 11, but I was always in. I didn't want, I didn't have nothing to do but do the right thing, and, do the right thing and get my life better. So, and they don't want drugs and alcohol and men all over the premises. I mean, that should be something that you can follow, you know. You should just want to get your life together. So that's all I have for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it blessed your life. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and make sure you leave me a comment if you have any questions. But I will be doing a live soon, so make sure that you hit that notification bell so your notification will come on your phone whenever I'm posting a video, and so you can know about that live. But and look at the different options on my channel, which is like videos, community. You can see pictures, go across their playlist. Soon a podcast will be coming. That's all I have for you in this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out. Peace and blessings to you in the name of Jesus Christ, my Lord. Amen.